means it's Purim time. Woo! So excited. Welcome to everyone to Temple Sholom Purim. Oh my goodness, I see great costumes. I see some Hamantaschen. I see people ready to have some fun. And if we haven't met before, I am Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Actually, I wish. No, I'm Rabbi Brown, dressed as RBG, of blessed memory. And we are excited tonight. We're going to present the Purim story in a spiel form. So that means that we're going to kind of act out the story in a little bit of a different way, a new way, a way that I think actually works pretty well on Zoom, because all of you are going to help us to tell the story. You're going to help us. You'll see how it works to know which way to go. But we need to ask your help, which is that while you're watching the spiel, we need you to keep your microphones on mute, okay? So that no sound is going to come out, so that everyone can hear the voices of all the people playing in the spiel. So if everyone can make sure they're on mute, that is great. And at certain times during the story, you're going to get to make a choice. You want us to go in one direction or another direction, and we're going to vote, and all of us together will determine what's going to happen in this story. So are you guys ready for some fun? Are you guys ready to go totally crazy for Purim? I hope you are. All right. So as we get started, I'm going to actually put all of our important players of Purim on spotlight so that everyone can see who's in play. And you'll see these might be some familiar faces of people you know. And if not, well, now they will be. Okay, is everybody ready for some Purim fun? Okay, here we go. Welcome and Chag Purim Sameach to you all. Tonight we have a sacred duty to fulfill. A semi-serious story to state, a torturous tale of treachery and tradition to tell. And we will need your help to make this happen. At predetermined points in the story, the action will stop, and you, as I mentioned, you will determine the course of the scene. Each option is distinct in its dialogue, specific in its statements, and particular in its points.
Wait a minute.
Wait, ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce you to one of the protagonists of our play, Mordechai. Yay.
I'm Mordechai. You're going to let them, I know these people, you're going to let them choose which way the story goes? They get to choose from a few options how each scene is going to end or unfold? You're going to trust these people?
Of course. Exactly.
I know their parents.
Oh, no, this is the way it's going to work. Exactly.
That's ridiculous. That's just ridiculous. This story is written in the Bible. You can't just change the ending. We're Reformed Jews, but not that Reform. What if they decide that Haman gets to win? Or if the king decides to marry someone other than Esther? It'd be like mayhem. It would be like Seder. Not to mention the whole point of coming here is to hear the tale as it is written 2,000 years ago.
Okay, Mordechai, you make a fair point, but don't worry, no decisions we make will change the course of our tale too much. Still, the Bible, the Tanakh, leaves much of the story open to interpretation. Why does the king choose Esther? And how does Esther feel about being chosen? These are important questions if we're to understand the Megillah. And that's what our guest this evening will help us determine.
You know, I'm not sure that I get this whole thing. It's meshugana to me, but okay, let's see how this goes.
All right. Just hang tight, Mordechai, okay? I'll show you what I mean. Once upon a time, there was a king named Achashverosh.
Hello, I'm here.
Oh, there you are. Achashverosh ruled a kingdom that stretched from India to Ethiopia and was rich beyond all your wildest dreams. Rich as Rockefeller, rich as Roosevelt. Is that too old school? He was like Mark Zuckerberg, but less Jewish.
Interesting. It says the Dogin family are watching, and so is Galit Mastai.
That's all?
No.
I got that one.
Like they say, it's so good to be me. Anyway, I was throwing this party.
A 6-month-long party.
It was a really, really good party. We were basically celebrating how great it is to be me. And I'm going to tell you, it's just pretty great to be me. Anyway, we got to the end of the 6 months, and I felt like the palace staff had done a great job with this whole half-a-year party thing. So I decided to whip up another week of celebrations just for the people in the palace. At the same time, Queen Vashti, that's my wife over there. Say hello, my dear.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, Queen Vashti, she threw a party for her ladies in waiting. So we have this extra week to party, and I decided it's time to go all out with crazy amounts of drinking. I'll be honest, I was totally verschnickert. You know what that is. We get to literally the last day, and I think to myself, you know what? I haven't seen Vashti in like forever, and I have this idea, and I'm like, let's bring her over to our party.
Okay, wait, King, hold on a moment. Everyone, here is where we show how this whole thing works. You see, the king is about to order Vashti to join his party. How do you think Achashverosh felt in this very moment? Remember, the options that you choose determine the end of this scene. Option A, King Achashverosh thought his wife was practically one of his employees and should entertain him. Or option B, King Achashverosh didn't mean any harm by his request, but it was a different time, and sometimes men back then expected obedience from their wives. Okay, you guys vote. Which way should we go? Pretty? I don't know. Not sure which way we're gonna go.
Let's see, we've got 64 people participating in this, and only 50 or so have voted so far.
Okay.
A little more time.
Gotta give you a couple more seconds. All right.
Okay, I'm going to end the poll and share the results. And the winner is, just by a sliver, is option A.
Option A. All right. Option A. King Achashverosh thought his wife was practically one of his employees and should entertain him and his friends. Let's see what happens.
King, you're up.
Okay, maybe the extra week of partying was a bad idea. My head is absolutely killing me, and my mouth feels like it's just stuffed with cotton. Too many Hamantashen cocktails for me. Ever had one of those? This is just so boring. Hey, someone entertain me. Where are my advisors? Where are my wife?
Yes, my king.
Free! Entertain me.
Excuse me?
My head's pounding, and I'm so irritable, and I'm just so bored, and I'm pretty sure it's all your fault.
What? Why is it my fault? I haven't seen you in 6 months.
Well, I'm the king, and if I say it's your fault, then it really is. It's called a royal decree. Ha! I hereby decree that this is all Vashti's fault.
Look, you're drunk, and this is gross. I'm not going to put on a show for you and all these people.
Well, no one says no to the king.
Well, I just did.
Well, then you're done as queen.
Whatever.
I hereby decree you are unattractive and your mother dresses you funny.
Well,
Vashti, my dear, my tear, my love, my one and only, would you be so kind as to put on a little evening entertainment?
oh, wait, hang on, King. You're reading option B.
Oh,
Which is
so
differently.
sorry.
No worries, but
You are
Vashti's
right.
gone. I mean, she's not even in the Zoom anymore.
Oh,
Oh, so King Ahasuerus at this time finds himself without a queen, desperately lonely, bereft over Vashti's absence, longing for a true partner.
honestly, I was good with it for a while. Then it got boring, and Vashti was a real pain in the tuchus, but she was an excellent bridge partner.
You're quite the romantic, Your Highness.
Anyway, I couldn't exactly just invite her back. I mean, she deserved banishment. Straight up refused to follow my command. I'm the king, in case you forgot. First person that denies me, then it's just chaos in the streets.
Well, so an edict was put out by the king's ministers ordering every eligible young maiden to come to Shushan to have a private interview with the king. The one who most pleased the king would become the new queen. Among the maidens was a young Jewish girl named Hadassah.
Actually, my name is Esther.
What? It says your name is Hadassah. Well, actually it says Hadassah and Esther. That's weird. You have two names?
Well, don't you?
No.
Don't you have an English name and a Hebrew name? Two names reflecting your two heritages?
Oh, I guess I do. Actually, me, RBG, my Hebrew name is Yitta Rachel.
Well, there you go. But do me a favor. Let's not make a big point of the whole me being Jewish thing. Mordecai says I should keep that one on the DL. Persia's a tolerant country and all. At least I grew up thinking that was the case. But I'm not sure the country's ready for a Jewish woman running the place.
Oh, gotcha. Anyway, Esther here is an orphan, raised by her cousin, Mordecai. She goes to the palace with all the other young women, spending a full year preparing for her meeting with the king.
And not a book of crossword puzzles in sight. Man, that was a dull year.
Finally, the time comes for Esther to meet with King Ahasuerus. Let's take a vote, everyone. Are you ready? How does Esther feel about meeting the king? Place your vote in the chat. Option A, Esther hoped to become queen so she could help rule the kingdom. Or option B, Esther was angry at being forced to come to the palace and audition to be queen. Make your vote.
And just remember, just because you're leading early doesn't mean you're going to be leading later. Votes might come in later out of nowhere.
This one's kind of neck and neck. Wow.
Yeah, very tight. Could go either way.
Go either way.
Say it again.
We're getting there almost.
Almost there. There's only one vote separating. Who's holding out?
We've only had 50 votes and there's 70 people online, so you've got to vote. It's your right. If you don't vote, you can't complain.
Really?
Well,
Good.
not in a Jewish crowd. Okay, we're going to give it 5 more seconds. Can we count down? 5, 4, 3,
Stein.
time, Echad, and
tied.
it is a tie. That doesn't work.
Oh man. All right. Let's see.
Mike Pence will decide.
Mike Pence. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna call on someone. Okay, I'm gonna call on let's see, the Lee Levinson family. You're breaking the tie. Okay, can you unmute and tell us which way to go?
We chose number 1.
Number 1, option A. Okay. Here we go, players. Option B.
Option B?
Option A.
Option A.
Option A.
Welcome, welcome. What's your name?
I'm Esther, Your Majesty.
Oh, we don't have to be so formal here. After all, we're discussing marriage. Just call me King Ahasuerus. Well, so as you know, I'm the king, the supreme ruler of the world's largest empire, able to enact my will with just the snap of my fingers. Fun, right? But enough about me. Let's talk about you. Why do you want to be married to me? Just kidding, just kidding. It's obviously obvious why you don't want to be married to me. I mean, it's practically just a gift just to be in my presence. And I completely understand how hard it is to not just worship me at every single moment. You're such a great conversationalist. I really just feel we've connected here. I really think we're meant to be together. How would you like to be my queen?
Really? That's amazing. High five. Okay, never mind. Forget it.
Okay. And so Esther became queen of all Persia. But she still hid the fact that she was Jewish, as Mordecai had instructed her. Mordecai, for his part, eagerly sought news about her life in the palace. Since all this happened before Instagram, he was forced to hang out by the palace gates to even catch a glimpse of her.
Here I am, just hanging out. Excuse me, narrator. But you seem to know what's going on around here. Do you know how long I have to sit here before something actually happens?
I do. It's 5 years, Mordecai.
5 years? 5 years? Chamesh years?
Yep,
Seriously. I might just go ahead and invent a newspaper or something to read, something to do. I have to have something to do.
5 years passes, and one day, the king promotes one of his many advisors to the office of prime minister, placing him above all others in power and authority. The prime minister's name is Haman.
You can unmute to boo.
Thank you. Thank you.
The king even decreed that everyone had to bow down to Haman whenever he passed by.
Oh man, that was the best. To be fair, the king didn't really decree anything. I asked him if I could borrow some official kingdom letterhead, and then casually commented how shiny his signet ring was. And oh, could I take a look at that thing? And boom! Signed decree saying everyone had to bow down to me. Oh man, is he a dummy?
One day, as Haman and his henchmen were leaving the palace, he happened to notice a man sitting outside the palace gates. When everyone else bowed to Haman as the law required, this one man stayed seated and never even looked his way.
What a burn. Hey, you, what's your deal?
My deal? You talking to me? You talking to me? My deal? What's your deal? Why are you so special that everyone has to bow down?
I'm the second most important person in this kingdom. Literally, only the king is more powerful than me.
Okay. I'm sorry to be the one to break it to you, but vice president is more of a figurehead position. You're like the Mike Pence of the Bible.
I'm not the vice president. I'm prime minister, FYI.
Oh, so you're like Justin Trudeau now. Still, lots of hair. Either way, I'm Jewish and we don't bow to anybody. It's like a thing we've got. Now, you'll have to excuse me, but I've been sitting here for literally 5 years. My back hurts, my knees hurt. All this excitement has me all cramped up like you wouldn't believe.
How dare he call me the Dan Quayle of the Bible? If anything, I'm like the Dick Cheney of the Bible. But excuse me, Your Highness.
Just
Your Majesty.
quiet. I'm doing some very, very important things here.
Oh, are you playing Angry Birds again?
Yes, and it's very important. What do you want?
I'd like to use your royal authority to start a war that I'll secretly manage on your behalf, but I'll leave you the figurehead responsible for the outcome. Are you in?
Well, you want to pull a Dick Cheney?
Yes, exactly. And I need your permission to draft the decree.
Oh, whatever. Do I want to know more details?
No.
Okay, well then it sounds good. It really does sound good.
Okay, well, so Haman issued a decree with the king's authority that all the Jews in the entire Persian Empire should be destroyed, killed, and wiped out in the coming days. When Mordecai learned of the decree, he put on sackcloth and rubbed ashes in his hair, purple hair, in the traditional sign of mourning. But because he was dressed so shabbily, he couldn't enter the court to talk with Esther about the decree. The queen's maidservant saw Mordecai outside the gate and told her that her uncle was out there waiting for her, wailing and singing sad songs. But Esther refused to come out to talk with him. Why do you think she didn't come out? Let's see what happened with Esther. Option 1. Esther was following the rules. She tried to convince Mordecai to come talk to her, but he insisted on making a public spectacle of himself. She would have come out if she could. Or option B. After 5 years, Esther had gotten quite used to being queen and hiding her heritage. She still cared for him, but wasn't ready to risk her royal stature to confront Haman. What do you think's going through Esther's mind? Make your votes.
So excited. It's like The Voice and American Idol all wrapped up in one. Again,
Oh, it's pretty close.
pretty closely
Very
divided.
close.
This is why we need a multi-party system.
Wow. I'll give it.
Just got 48 votes out of the possible 75. 69 not counting the people on screen.
What do you think, guys? Let's give it a few more seconds.
Should we count down again from 5?
Mm-hmm.
Chamesh, Arba,
Shalosh,
Shayim,
Fine.
Echad. And the winner is...
Looks like option B.
Option B. That's the first time we've gone with an option B.
Seriously exciting. Okay, so Esther sent her servant to talk to Mordecai.
Mordecai, dude, you stink.
I'm fasting here and wailing on behalf of my people. This is what Jews do when we're in mourning.
No, I got that part. I mean, you smell really bad. Have you bathed recently?
How come Esther didn't come out herself?
She's got other things on her mind.
What could be more important than saving her people?
She's getting her hair done today. That's pretty much the highlight.
How can she abandon her people in their time of need?
To be fair, she was thinking of you. She asked me to bring you a change of clothes. She said, and I quote, "I can smell him from here."
How dare she? This is my place. I'm trying to raise awareness of our plight. The smell is all part of that thing. I won't change. I'm not going to leave. Now go and tell my cousin that she has to do something to save us.
Oh, please, she's the queen. I'm a servant. I can't demand she do anything.
Well, then give her a copy of Haman's decree. It's posted all over the place, and tell her it will be the death of all the Jews.
Okie dokie.
So
and-
Hatach,
oh, that's your part. Yeah.
okay. Hatach took the decree to Esther and the next day returned to Mordecai.
Hello again, Mordecai.
So is she going to help?
The queen has asked me to point out that she can't just walk up to the king and demand change. First off, there's a rule that no one enters the king's presence without invitation. If you do, you get killed. She begs you to just get dressed in some nicer clothes and come inside, and then you can figure out a way to talk to the king.
She's the queen. If she can't convince the king to cancel the decree, what good could I possibly do? And speaking of clothes, I've been on Zoom for 5 years. I'm not even really wearing pants. You tell her that if she thinks no one in the palace will find out she's Jewish, she is fooling herself. She is just as much at risk as anyone else. This is her moment to shine. Now, go back to Queen Esther and tell her all that I have said.
Oh, well, for sure I'm going to hit my 10,000 steps today.
So Esther read the decree and heard all about the conversation that her servant had with Mordecai. Overwhelmed by the responsibility on her shoulders, she nonetheless took to heart Mordecai's words and came up with a plan to save the Jews. But first, she had to get the king's attention. Nothing was working. So Esther dressed up in her finest clothes and stood in the doorway to the king's throne room until she caught his attention.
Esther, I didn't see you there.
My king, I have a small eensy-weensy request.
Oh, now what?
My king, would you do me the honor of joining me tonight at a feast that I have prepared in your honor?
Ooh, well, I do love a feast.
And I'd so appreciate it if Haman could be there too.
I'm sure he'll be thrilled.
That night, King Ahasuerus, Queen Esther, and Haman sat down for the dinner that the queen had prepared.
What a fabulous feast you've prepared. I am absolutely stuffed.
Really a phenomenal evening, my queen.
Well, I do it all to honor my king.
Well, I think this deserves a reward. What can I get you, Esther? Anything you want. Even half of my kingdom could be yours.
Your Majesty, the only thing I could possibly ask for is the privilege of your company again tomorrow night.
Ooh, you mean another feast?
This time, a wine banquet.
Ooh, it's like a banquet, but with wine.
And Haman, I would be honored if you would join us again too.
Wine banquet? Wine banquet? Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it.
Oh, men.
So the queen prepared a second banquet to honor the king.
More wine?
Why, thank you. What a tremendous evening, my queen. I'm feeling generous today. And oh, I have an idea. I'll get your likeness tattooed on my face.
Well, that's quite generous of you. I have only one request for you.
Well, then just name it. Anything you want. Even up to half my kingdom could be yours.
All I want is for you to save my life.
Didn't I kinda already do that when I married you?
My king, someone has threatened my people with destruction.
Who would dare do such a thing?
Haman!
What? I didn't do anything.
You have threatened my people with destruction. Oh, King Ahasuerus, save us!
Of course I will save you, but quick question. Who are your people anyhow?
I'm Jewish.
Uh-huh. Did I know that?
Doesn't matter.
Well, no, kinda, sorta. I really just need a minute to think about it.
You need a minute?
I'll be right back. I will just be right back.
So the king stepped out into the garden to gather his admittedly callow and selfish thoughts. And Haman, in his terror, goes to beg Queen Esther for mercy. What do you all think Haman says to try and convince Queen Esther to spare his life? Option A, whoops. Option B, I meant to do it, but now I realize the error of my ways. Or option 3, look out, bears!
I'm voting for bears. I like bears.
Me too.
Bears are winning.
You guys really like these bears.
Okay, we've got 50, 60 plus votes. I think we're almost there. Count it down from 5 again, from Chamesh.
From Chamesh.
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 Arba.
Arba.
Shalosh.
Shalosh.
Shtayim. Echad. And the winner is the Bears.
The bears.
The Bears.
The bears.
Well, listen, Haman, what do you have to say for yourself?
Oh, look out, bears!
Bears? What bears? The bears are attacking.
The Bears are attacking.
Oh, wait a minute, you guys. This is ridiculous. This is like, even for Purim, this is bizarre, strange. All of you guys, like, there's no bear attack. Okay, we can't end our spiel with a fatal teddy bear attack. Really,
We're not in North Vancouver or anything.
Okay, let's get back on track. Okay.
Okay, Colonel Robert. What?
So, does this mean that I get to live?
No. According to the Megillah, we killed you. Get lost.
Aww.
And does this mean that the king has to finally learn basic decency and moral behavior?
No. You're still the king.
Well, that works for me.
So, with Haman defeated, Esther was given all of Haman's possessions and all of his wealth.
Cool.
And Mordecai was named prime minister, second only to the king in power and authority.
Sweet!
And from that day forward, the Jews had light and joy, gladness and humor and honor, and a day of celebration was declared for all time. That on that very day that Haman had planned to slaughter the Jews.
Who is Haman?
He's the bad guy. Oh, that on that day they had feasting instead of famine.
I wanted Haman to win.
Plotting, merriment instead of murder, and the holiday of Purim was created.
Is that it?
Yeah, we're done. That's the whole story.
So what are we supposed to do now?
Oh, that's a good question. Let's ask the audience. How should we end the spiel? Cast take a bow? Everyone eat Hamantaschen? Or dance party? You guys tell us. Wow.
Oh, it's leaning towards dance party. I was kind of looking forward to Hamantaschen. Okay. Chamesh,
Right.
Arba, Shalosh, Shtayim, Echad.
Amazing. All right. Annette, can you lead us in a song to have our dance party as we go out of this thing?
I sure can. This song actually has actions too, and it gets us ready to, with our characters for the Megillah reading as well. All right, so when you hear the name of Esther, clap your hands. When you hear the name of Esther, clap your hands. Oh, we love the Queen of Esther, for she saved us from disaster. When you hear the name of Esther, clap your hands. When you hear the name of Mordecai, shout hooray, hooray! When we hear the name of Mordecai, shout hooray, hooray! Oh, we love old Mordecai. He's our pal, our kind of guy. When you hear the name of Mordecai, shout hooray, hooray! But when you hear the name of Haman, then say boo, boo! When you hear the name of Haman, then say boo, boo! When you, 'cause Haman was so mean that he meant to hurt our queen. When you hear the name Haman, then say boo, boo!
Wow, fantastic. Can all of our Spiel players take a bow? Thank you, everyone. And thanks to all of you for helping us tell our story. You guys did a great job. Thank you, everyone, for choosing our Megillah adventure. Now, Rabbi Dan.
Rabbi Brown.
I heard that we have a special cartoon of Purim to show to everyone. Do you want to share it with us?
Not only did you hear that, but you helped create it.
Oh, yeah. That's right. It was Rabbi Brown, not RBG, though, who did it.
Oh, right. Okay, so let's get this going here. Give me a second. Okay, and here, and here. Come on, computer. Okay. The story of Purim. Our story takes place in a land called Persia, which is roughly where we would find Iran today. But this story happened a long time ago, when kings ruled the land and before countries were formed. Shushan was the capital of Persia, which was ruled by King Ahasuerus, a lazy king who preferred to have parties for days rather than actually think about laws and ruling his kingdom. He let others do the thinking for him. One of his chief thinkers was Haman, but more on him later.
During one of his never-ending parties, the king called for his wife, Queen Vashti. He wanted her to dance and show off her beauty for all the king's friends, but Queen Vashti refused. She felt her body was private and not for showing to strangers. Her refusal embarrassed and angered the king so much that he took her crown and threw her out of the kingdom. The king, now alone and lonely, held a contest among all the young women in the kingdom to find a new wife. A beautiful Jewish woman named Esther entered the contest because her uncle Mordecai encouraged her. After all, to have a Jew in such proximity to power could only be a good thing. When the king saw Esther, he was mesmerized by her beauty and chose her to be his queen. But he didn't know that she was Jewish, and Esther didn't tell him either, at least not yet.
Once Esther moved into the palace, Mordecai liked to stay nearby, sitting outside the palace gate. One day, while sitting there, he overheard two of the palace guards plotting to kill the king. Right away, Mordecai reported the news, and the two guards were caught and punished. Mordecai was a hero. This was written down in the king's official record book. Now, back to Haman. Because the king was not really interested in doing his job, he promoted Haman to do the work for him. So Haman became his most powerful advisor, more powerful than anyone else in the land. Haman was pretty full of himself. He liked to walk around the kingdom and make everyone bow to him. Everyone did, except for Mordecai the Jew. I will never bow down to a human person. This incensed Haman so much that he vowed not only to destroy Mordecai, but all the Jewish people too.
Haman hatched a plan. There will be a great massacre, a genocide of all the Jews. But on what day would this happen? Haman then drew lots, Purim, to choose the date, the 13th of the month of Adar. Haman went to the king.
Excuse me, we can't hear the video anymore.
In this land who will not bow to you, decreed that the Jews should be killed, and the king, who didn't like to think for himself anyway, agreed. When Mordecai heard the decree, he immediately called for Esther, begging her to speak to the king on behalf of her people. But Esther was afraid. I could be killed if I speak to the king without an invitation. But her uncle implored her, "Esther, if you are silent and say nothing to the king, it's as if you are agreeing with the decree. A person who stands silently by is responsible for the tragedy. You can use your privilege and your position to save your people and yourself. Maybe this is the reason why you became queen."
The king had a restless night. He couldn't sleep. He called his servant to read to him from the chronicles of his kingdom and heard the story of how Mordecai saved his life by reporting the plan of those guards, but saw that Mordecai had not yet been rewarded. The king summoned Haman and asked him, how was a hero in the kingdom to be rewarded? Haman, thinking this hero was himself, answered, "He should be paraded around the kingdom in the finest robes and on the finest horse." The king liked this advice and ordered Haman to parade Mordecai the Jew around the kingdom. Haman fumed.
In the meantime, Esther decided that the best way to tell the king that she is Jewish and that Haman was planning to kill her all along with all of her people was to throw a lavish party, because everyone knew how much the king loved parties, and to invite not just the king but also Haman. Once at the party, Esther gathered all her courage to tell the king everything. She declared, "There is a person in your palace who wants to destroy me and all of my people." The king demanded to know who would do such a thing. "Him, Haman," Esther declares. The king was furious. He granted Esther's request. Instead of the Jews being killed, Haman would be hanged on the very gallows he had built for Mordecai. The Jewish people were saved.
From then on, the holiday of Purim was established and is celebrated on the 14th day of the month of Adar, to remember when the Jews acted with courage and spoke up for justice. We celebrate by sending food and treats to friends, mishloach manot, and giving gifts to the poor, matanot le'evyonim. We eat three-cornered cookies, hamantashen, that look like Haman's pointed hat. We celebrate with costume parties and we wear masks, because you never know where you might find the face of God hiding in plain sight.
חג פורים, חג פורים, חג גדול ליהודים, מסכות, רשנים, זמירות וריקודים. הבה נרישה, רש רש רש, הבה נרישה, רש רש רש, הבה נרישה, רש רש רש, ברשנים.
Yasher Koach. That was fantastic. So fun to see the story in animation. That was
Sorry for the sound issues there. I'm not sure what happened.
That's okay. Things happen, right?
Right.
Well, is everybody ready for the reading of the Megillah? I am sure excited. This is one of the best parts of Purim. So what we're going to do is we have a bunch of people who are going to be reading some parts of the Megillah. We're not going to read the whole thing because we've told the whole story, but we want to get a flavor of how it sounds and give everyone a chance to do what everyone loves to do on Purim, which is to shake your gragger. So if you have a gragger at home, you can get it ready. If you don't have a gragger at home, but you want to just boo and hiss and clap your hands and make all sorts of ra'ash, all sorts of crazy noise, when you hear a certain name, then we'll have you do that. And we love to hear the noise. So this is actually a time when you can be unmuted, okay? So when someone is reading the Megillah, then you want to keep quiet. But when we hear that name, we're going to make lots of noise. So we're going to practice to make sure we got it, because, you know, sometimes on Zoom, people don't know what to do. You're muted, you're not muted, what's going on? So if I said like the name of, I don't know, Harry Potter. Nothing. Okay. All right. If I said the name of Kermit the Frog. Nothing. If I said the name of Haman, what?
Down with Haman.
Don't like Haman.
All right. So now, Good. I mean, some giggling, but that's okay. Pretty good. All right, let's try it one more time. Haman. Okay. All right. Okay, I think you guys have got it. So we're going to start. Just a warning, Haman's not, oh, I didn't say that name. It's not going to come up for the first couple of little snippets, but you'll see when it does, and just get ready. So before we do, I first want to do the blessings so that we can.
I don't think that gets bigger, David.
It said pinch out for a better
So
view.
let's do the blessing. There's 3 blessings.
Baruch
atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu b'mikra Megillah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Lavoteinu v'imotenu. Amen. And the last one, you guys all know this one. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'echianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Amen. Amen. So our first Megillah reading this evening is our very own Annette Kozicki.
Hi. Okay. Vayehi bimei Achashverosh, hu Achashverosh, Hamelech mehodu ve'ad Kush, sheva ve'esrim u'mea medina, bayamim hahem, כשבט המלך אחשוורוש על כיסא מלכותו אשר בשושן הבירה בשנת 3 למלכו עשה משתה לכל שריו ועבדיו חיל פרס ומדי הפרטמים ושרי המדינות לפניו בהרתו את עושר כבוד מלכותו ואת יקר תפארת גדולתו ימים רבים 80 יום ובמלאת הימים האלה עשה המלך לכל העם הנמצאים בשושן הבירה למגדו ועד קטן משתה 7 ימים בחצר גינת ביתן המלך.
Yasher Koach, Annette, way to go. Can we give a Yasher Koach a big cheer? Woo!
Yasher Koach.
Asher Koach.
All right, our second Megillah reading is Jesse Halprin.
Hi.
Hi, Jesse.
גם ושתי המלכה עשתה משתה נשים בית המלכות אשר למלך אחשוורוש ביום השביעי כטוב לב המלך ביין אמר למומן בזתה חרבונה בקתה והגתה זתר וחרקס 7 הסריסים המשרתים את פני המלך אחשוורוש. להביא את ושתי המלכה לפני המלך בחדר מלכות, להראות העמים והשרים את יופייה, כי טובת מראה היא, ותמאן המלכה ושתי. לבוא בדבר המלך אשר ביד הסריסים, ויקצוף המלך מאוד וחמתו בערה בו.
Yasher Koach, let's hear it for Jesse.
Yasher Koach.
Yesh koach.
Amazing. All right. Our third reader is Shira Daltrop, chapter 2.
אחר הדברים האלה, כשוחמת המלך אחשוורוש, זכר את ושתי ואת אשר עשתה, ואת אשר נגזר עליה. ויאמרו נערי המלך משרתיו, יבקשו למלך נרות בתילות טובות מראה, ויפקד המלך פקידים בכל מדינות מלכותו, ויקבצו את כל נערה בתולה טובת מראה, על שושן הבירה, אל בית הנשים, אל יד הגה. סריס המלך שומר הנשים, ונתון תמרוקיהן, והנערה אשר תיטב בעיני המלך, תמלוך תחת ושתי, ויטב הדבר בעיני המלך ויעש כן.
Yasher koach.
Yasher koach.
Shira. Okay, next up is Martha Brickman. This is all about Mordecai now.
איש יהודי היה בשושן הבירה, ושמו מרדכי, בן יאיר, בן שימור, בן קישי שמיני, אשר הוגלה מירושלים, עם הגולה אשר הוגלתה, עם יחוניה מלך יהודה אשר הגלה, נבוכדנצר מלך בבל. ויהי עומד את הדסה, כי אסתר בתולו, כי אין לה אבם, והנערה יפתו בת מראה, ובמות אביה ואמה לקחה מרדכי לא לבד. ויהי בהישמע דבר המלך לדתו, ובהיכבד נערות רבות אל שושן הבירה, אל יד הגיא. ותילקח אסתר אל בית המלך, אל יד הגיא שומר הנשים. ותיטב הנערה בעיניו, ותישא חסד לפניו, ויבהל את תמרוקיה ואת מנותיה לתת לך, ואת 7 הנערות הראויות לתת לך מבית המלך. וישנע ואת נערותיה לטוב בית הנשים. לא תגיד אסתר את עמה ואת מולדתה, כי מרדכי ציווה עליה אשר לא תגיד.
Yay, Martha. Yasher koach.
Yasher koach, Martha.
Yasher koach.
All right, everyone needs to get their graggers ready because, well, something's about to happen here. Ed Croft is going to read the next segment. Here we go.
אחרי הדברים האלה גידל המלך אחשוורוש את המן. את בן המתה הגגי וינשאו וישם על כיסו מעל כל השרים אשר איתו, וכל עבדי המלך בשער המלך קוראים ומשתחווים להמן. לו המלך ומרדכי לא יקרא ולא ישתחווה, ויאמרו עבדי המלך אשר בשער המלך למרדכי, מדוע אתה עובר את מצוות המלך? ויהי כאמרם אליו יום ויום, ולא שמע עליהם, ויגידו להמן. לראות יעמדו דברי מרדכי, כי יגיד להם אשר הוא יהודי, וירא המן. כן מרדכי קורא ומשתחווה לו, וימלא המן. ויבז בניו לשלוח יד במרדכי לבדו, כי יגידו לו את מרדכי, ויבקש המן. להשמיד את היהודים אשר בכל מלכות אחשוורוש מרדכי, בחודש הראשון וחודש ניסן, בשנת 12 למלך אחשוורוש הפיל פור. הוא הגורל לבני המן. מהחודש לחודש 12 הוא חודש אדר, ויאמר המן. ישנו עם אחד מפוזר ומפורד בין עמים בכל מדינות מלכותך, ודתיהם שונות מכל עם, ודתי המלך אינם עושים, והמלך אין שווה להניחם. אם על המלך טוב יכתב לעובדם, ו10,000 כיכר כסף, אשכול על ידי עושה המלאכה, להביא אל גנזי המלך.
Woo, yasher koach, Ed. Thank you so much. Very Wolf custom. That was some good grogger shaking, you guys. Whew, okay, so we are ready for our next reader, Anna Bruder.
Hello. Vayomer Mordechai lahashiv el Esther al terami benafsheh lehimalei beit hamelech mikol hayehudim ki im hacharesh tacharishi ba'et hazot ravach v'hatzala ya'amod laYehudim mimakom acher va'atu veit avich tovedu umi yodea im le'et kazot higa'at lamalchut va'tomer Esther lahashiv el Mordechai lech kenose kol haYehudim hanimtzeim b'Shushan v'tzumu Allah ve'al tochelu ve'al tishtu shaloshet yamim laila v'yom גם אני ונערותי עצום כן. וכן אבוא אל המלך אשר לא חדד, והאשר עבדתי. ויעבור מרדכי ויעש ככל אשר ציוותה עליו אסתר.
Yasher Koach.
Yasher
Anna.
Koach.
Fantastic. The plot thickens here, everybody. Okay, next reader is me. Vayehi bayom hashlishi batilbash Esther malchut bata'amod bechatzar beit hamelech hapnimit nochach beit hamelech vehamelech yoshev al kisei malchuto bebeit hamalchut nochach petach habayit. Vayehi kirot hamelech et Esther hamlacha omedet bechatzer nasachen be'einav vayoshet hamelech le'Esther et sharbit hazahav asher beyado v'tikrav Esther v'tiga berosh hasharbit vayomer la hamelech Malach Esther Hamalka Uma Bakashatech Ad Chatzi Malchut Vayinaten Lach Vatomer Esther Imal Hamelech Tov Vayavo Hamelech Behaman Hamisher Asher Asiti Lo Vayomer Hamelech Maharu et Haman. Esther Vayavo al Melech veHaman el Hamisha. Esther. Okay, our next reader is our very own Cantor Naomi. Come on up.
Hello.
Hello, hello. Chag Sameach.
Chag Sameach. Vayavo hamelech veHaman. Lishtot Esther hamalka. Vayomer hamelech leEsther. Gam bayom hasheni v'mishteh hayayin. Ma she'elatech Esther hamalka v'nitaten lach uma bakashatech ad chatzi malchut v'tehas v'tan Esther hamalka v'tomar im matzati chen be'necha hamelech ve'im al hamelech tov tinaten li nafshi b'she'elati ve'ami b'vakashati כי נמכרנו אני ועמי להשמיד, להרוג ולאבד, אילו לעבדים ולשפחות נמכרנו, חרשתי, כי אין הצער שווה בנזק המלך. ויאמר המלך אחשוורוש, ויאמר לאסתר המלכה, מי הוא זה ואיזה הוא, אשר מלאו ליבו לעשות כן. ותאמר אסתר, איש צר ואויב, המן. והזה בהמן. מלפני המלך והמלכה, והמלך קם בחמתו משתה היין על גינת הביתן, והמן לבקש על נפשו מסתר עמוקה, כי רעה, כי חלתה אליו הרעה מאת המלך.
Yasher koach.
Yasher koach.
Yasher koach.
Yasher koach.
Okay. One
Yasher koach,
ending
Cantor.
coming up from, again, Ed Croft. Bring us home, Ed.
ומרדכי יצא מלפני המלך בלבוש מלכות תכלת בחור ועטרת זהב גדולה ותחרית בוץ וארגמן והעיר שושן צהלה ושמחה ליהודים הייתה אורה ושמחה וששון ועיקר ובכל מדינה ומדינה ובכל עיר ועיר מקום אשר דבר המלך ודתו מגיע שמחה וששון ליהודים משתה ויום טוב ורבים מעמי הארץ מתייהדים כי נפל פחד היהודים עליהם.
Yasher koach.
Yasher koach.
Yasher koach.
Fantastic, everyone. Let's all put on our videos, and we're gonna sorry, one second. We're gonna see everyone in our gallery view, and let's have one more song to finish it off with Annette.
Okay, well, if we have one more song, then it's gonna be this one. And if we have time, maybe we'll. So, oh, wait a second. I gotta get into gallery view so I can watch all of you while we do this too. So, let's sing about Purim. Chag Purim, Chag Purim, Chag Gadol Hayeled Yehudim Masechot Rashanim Shirim Verikudim Harben Arisha Rash 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 Harben Arisha Rash 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 Harben Arisha Rash 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 Rashanim. All right, that was the warm up. Let's do it again. Chag Purim, Chag Purim, Chag Gadol Yehudim Masechot Rashanim Shirim Verikudim. Ready? Harben Arisha Rash 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 Harben Arisha Rash 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 Harben Arisha Rash 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 Rashanim. Well, it's such a short song, so let's do one more. Let's do this one. It only has 3 words, 2 words really. It's Mishem, 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 oh, Mishem, 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 Mishem,
Yasher koach.
To Annette, and thank you to all of our Megillah readers. What an amazing job. And many of those Megillah readers were first timers. So kol hakavod, you guys did amazing. And again, thanks to all of our Spiel actors and all of you for coming to Zoom Purim and dressing up and having so much fun. We're going to transition now. Rabbi Dan, you want to tell us what's happening next?
I will, but first, let's thank a huge thank you to Rabbi Brown. She pulled all of these pieces together. Unbelievable. Really incredible.
Hey for RBG!
Yes. RBG strikes again. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming out. You know, it was a year ago that we were together for Purim, and God willing, even before next Purim, God willing, we'll be safe and together again. We're going to end this Zoom, but you can go to Tellus or to the Temple's website, our YouTube page, and you can watch the comedy competition that we partnered with Temple Sinai in Toronto and a number of other Reformed congregations across Canada to put on for tonight. It's not really for kids, certainly not little kids. So you can tuck them in a little bit or whatever it is that you do, and then turn on to the comedy competition, which is going to start in just a couple of minutes. We hope that you've enjoyed tonight. Please join us Saturday night. If you haven't signed up yet, there's still time for our Lehitraot evening as we celebrate Cantor Naomi, and as we say not goodbye, but that we'll see you again soon. It's going to be a really wonderful and special evening. So if you haven't signed up, you still can. And we hope we'll see you there, and we hope we'll see you Friday and Saturday for services. And everybody have a wonderful, safe, and happy Purim. Thank you to everyone who participated. This was great. This was really great. Chag Sameach, everyone.
Chag Sameach.
Nice to see you.
Chag Sameach.
Doug,
Jaffy kids. Here are your friends.
bye.
Chag Sameach.
Chag Sameach, everyone.
See everyone.
So we'll leave.
And now, Dolgan will attempt it for the first time to land a knock-knock joke on Zoom on Purim. Can he do it? Let's watch. Knock, knock. Interrupting cow. Move! And yes, he has done it. Oh my goodness.
Temple Sinai, in association with the Harold Green Jewish Theater Company, presents the second annual Harvey Atkin Purim Comedy Competition, hosted by Humble Howard, with headliner and last year's winner, Jacob Bolshin, and starring comedians Heather Gold, Benji Rothman, Janice Israeloff, Jeremy Dobsky, Laura Lebo, Simon Rakoff, and Ronan Geisler. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Celia Tesler Atkin.
Harvey loved to tell stories, jokes, and make you laugh. He also believed in supporting emerging talent. Today, I'm thrilled to help the next generation of comedians. Enjoy the show and keep on laughing.
Let's get this show started with your MC for the evening, Humble Howard.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second annual Harvey Atkin Purim Comedy Competition. I don't know why I'm yelling. I'm just excited to be out, or sort of virtually out and about. My name's Howard Glassman. I'll be your host, your MC. We have a great night planned for you. Hope you're going to enjoy yourself. It's just a chance to kind of lighten up, get together virtually with everyone. Last year, of course, the first year of the competition, I was so excited. Got to do this in person, before the virus. I think, let me just get right into this. I think Jewish people, we're uniquely qualified, for stay-at-home orders, social distancing, because we're always like, I don't want to go to that place. I don't want to go out. We're just thrilled. People are bringing food to our homes. It's fantastic. My name is Howard. As I mentioned, I'm from Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. I like to pause when I say that to people. I'm from Moose Jaw. Other Jewish people always do the same thing. They kind of go, what? There's Jews in Moose Jaw? Oh, yeah. We're everywhere. Seriously. We like to keep, of course, like all Jews out in the prairies, we like to keep that on the down low. But I always tell them the Jewish population of Moose Jaw was like 36, and there was like 36 Chinese food restaurants. So it was perfect. We got people watching from all over the country. Let's welcome some of those fine human beings.
From Toronto, Temple Sinai, Harold Green Jewish Theater Company, City Shul, and Friends of Yiddish. Beth Israel Congregation, Kingston, Temple Israel, Ottawa, Temple Sholom, Vancouver, and Temple Beth El, Flint, Michigan.
Sholom. It's great to have you for the second annual Harvey Atkin Comedy Competition. Great to have these Jewish organizations with us and us with you. You're going to see some very funny comedians. I had a chance to work with a lot of these people. You're really going to enjoy it. It's a competition. So later we will tell you how to vote. I know, it's Jewish people. You don't need to be told how to vote. We're just judging all the time. We're super judgy. But, you know, it's been a weird year. I know, it's like, I have been on so many of these Zoom calls and presentations. And are you like me? Like anytime you've got a Zoom meeting coming up, you're kind of looking around the kitchen for something to put the computer on because you're tired of looking at yourself. Seriously, I am so sick of my resting Zoom face. I am. And it's like, no matter what is going on, no matter what the presentation's about, no matter how interesting the conversation, all I can think of is, what's up with my neck? And I found this feature on Zoom. It's like hide self view. Like I call it hide self-conscious view. I've been on, I have one more Zoom joke. I have had so many Zoom meetings in the last year, I don't even say goodbye anymore. I just say leave meeting. Yeah, leave a meeting. Anyway, before we leave this meeting, I just want you to know it's time to get started. So listen, have fun. We're just here to have a good time. It's not serious because it's a comedy competition. As well, I think you'll find this interesting. Later on, we're going to look back at some of the cool moments, the amazing career of this man that we are honoring tonight. No, I don't mean Purim. I'm talking about Harvey Atkin, and that's really why we're here, as well as to see some great stand-up comedy. So let's do it. Our very first comedian is a Canadian from Niagara Falls, Canada. You know, the good side of the falls. Now based in California. She's contributed to CBC Radio, as well performs at venues such as the San Francisco Sketch Fest and South by Southwest. Please put your hands and keyboards together for Heather Gold, everybody.
Hi, I'm Heather Gold, and I was driven to comedy by law school. First time I did anything that was sort of like stand-up was at my brother's bar mitzvah, which I'm sure I'm not the first. I got laughs. It's great. Irritation. A pretty good bullshit meter. I'm going to say that. Surus. There is a great Jewish comedic sensibility that is old. It's gone back a long time. It's part of how we've sort of made it through. I mean, for sure, a major influence on me were like the albums I heard from my grandparents. Listened to comedy albums from, you know, back in the day, the Bell Barth kind of era of comedy. But Mel Brooks was definitely a huge influence on me. Lots of, you know, gay men I knew, and most important, my Aunt Freda. I love doing comedy and I love comics, but I always viewed it as a kind of, you know, very luxurious thing to get to do and nice to have. But COVID has made it like necessary. It seems both like we never know when it will end, but also like there's something certain about it because I know where you are and you know where I am. We know where everyone is because no one's going anywhere. Anyone's lucky enough to have a home is there. That's it. I mean, in some weird way, it should be sort of a happy Jewish moment. We've, you know, light the candles almost every week, and I want to. Like, it actually is like an event, you know, and it's part of what showed me, like, yes, we need to mark things and we need to ritualize things to help ground ourselves when you have a feeling of structurelessness. So I want to thank the Harold Green Jewish Theater Company and Temple Sinai, and a special thanks to Danny Atkin, if you're still watching this. Many years ago, hello. Comedy's the best medicine. I hope you have some good laughs tonight.
I'm from the generation of lesbians. There aren't that many of us. Where when we came out, there was no one there was no Ellen DeGeneres, there's no Katie Lang. All I had to look up to was Velma and Scooby-Doo. That was how I learned who I was. We're 80s lesbians. There aren't many of us. We're the generation where we've all slept with more women than our fathers. That's who we are. Which will explain a lot to you about us. And so, you know, I worked hard at being gay. I don't know how hard you work at your heterosexuality. We had to work it. We had to imagine the world. Like my era, there was nothing. We had to imagine everything, including sex. It was like the Silicon Valley startup world of sex. We're like, we don't know what it looks like. Who's seen it? I hadn't heard the word lesbian literally until I got to college. I didn't even know what it was. I'm just like, I just know I'm really bored by every other thing going on around me, and this makes no sense, and these shoes are uncomfortable. That was like the only insight I had about my identity. So yeah, I'm glad to be here with other Jews. I'm proud of my people. I feel like we've invented a lot. Communism, you guys are proud of that? I'm claiming that. Psychoanalysis, also us, which is half of the economy of the Bay Area by now. And Christianity, that's the big one. It's a biggie, but it kind of got away from us, like a spin-off. So, you know, I like to think, thank you. I like to think we make up for it by selling shit to Gentiles at Christmas, so. Worked hard for that. Oh God, did you hear all this to do about the Dyke March? First of all, I'll explain to you that I don't know how this will go over given that it's so heterosexual, but I'm happy to I'm used to explaining ourselves to you. The Dyke March is like the day before Pride. Pride, have you been to regular Pride now, which is like Macy's Day parade for teenagers to smoke dope and wear tutus and make out with each other. They're like, I feel so free, I don't know why. They're all excited to explore their heterosexuality. They go downtown. I'm not kidding. So at least lesbians, we tend to be like, I'm gonna just be with women who also love women for like 15 minutes and queer people one day. And now it's just completely run over by millennial non-queer dudes. Like a generation that said, fuck politics, we're gonna perfect coffee. Those people, do you know what I'm talking about? And they have, by the way, like they're indebted to them because real coffee could really do what it's done.
There you go. How about keeping it going for Heather Gold, everybody? Heather Gold. Anyway, it's great to have you here. Hope you're enjoying the competition. We're going to get to our second comedian. You know, it's been, as I mentioned off the top, it's been a strange year for all of us. You know, of course, no matter what's going on in the, you know, the zeitgeist, the narrative, it's never far, you know, from involving some weird, you know, anti-Semitism. Of course, there's that nut job in the States who, I guess a month ago was talking about, you know, oh, the Jews and their space lasers. What? Oh yeah, the Jews and our space lasers, you know, we're causing these forest fires. And I said to a friend of mine, he's like, do Jews have space lasers? And I said to him, listen, man, here's what you need to know about Jews. If we had space lasers, we'd never stop talking about them, okay? And I guarantee you, if we had them, we're not using them for like forest fires. Maybe if we had them like 6,000 years ago, we could let the bread rise a little bit. You know, I had a perfect Passover bit in there. Anyway, let's move it along. How about our next contestant who has performed at the Winnipeg Comedy Festival and the Melbourne Jewish Comedy Festival? Ladies and gentlemen, please say hi to Benji Rothman.
Hello, everyone. My name is Benji Rothman, and yeah, I hope you're all enjoying this pandemic. And yeah, I'm sitting on my couch, and yeah, over there is there's my soulmate and my girlfriend as well, and yeah, let's see a little bit about myself. I'm a former Mr. Teen USA 2016, and I'm age non-binary, which you should know. And oh God, okay, this is embarrassing. I'm so sorry. Oh, Oh dear. Sorry, this happens when I fall in love with someone in the audience here is making me feel some kind of way. Sorry about that. Okay, what else can I tell you? I'm a motorist and oh no, oh God. Oh, I'm so sorry. I have this condition. When I get horny, this is what happens. Oh no, with the music and everything. And that's my dog Yogi. And yeah, so I hope you guys learn a little bit about me. And thank you and enjoy the show.
But I love this theater too. It's funny, for you guys, this probably looks like a comedy show, but from up here, where I'm standing, this just looks like a big game of Guess Who. Yeah, I'm doing really bad because everyone's still here. So. I don't know if you guys have played Guess Who recently. I was playing with my niece last week. Playing Guess Who now in 2019 is actually really difficult. Just with all the things you can't say, you know. I didn't even know what to ask. I was just like, is your person equally as capable as all the other people? Okay, good. Nice. It's easier though, of course, not to get your character guessed, because she asked me, is your person a woman? I said, I don't know what Maria identifies as, but I can pick a new question. She said, is your person Maria? I said, actually, he goes by Mario now. And you lose the game. This is funny. For those of you that need a reminder of Guess Who, I brought a little something for you here. Yeah, Matt, go ahead and load it. Yeah. You guys remember? Yeah. You remember Guess Who, right? Great game. There's some weird ones in there. Like, what kind of sad is George? Like, to have that hat and that expression, that's you got fired and your wife slept with your brother at the same time. Eric's in the Gestapo, that's pretty clear. I like the ones that look like people in my family. So this is my dad here, that's my father. And I think that my dad looks a little bit like Tom. That's pretty close, right? Then we have, this is my Uncle Sam, Love my Uncle Sam, great uncle, who ironically looks like Sam. It's an exact match. They shop at the same Hakeem Optical. Right? It's great. It's insane. Some of them just look like celebrities. Peter, can we guess who Peter looks like? Rodney Dangerfield, that's right. Yeah. Then we have Anne. Anyone want to guess who Anne looks like? Wanda Sykes, very good. Yeah, there you go. Now, for those of you saying, MG, that's racist, not all black people look the same, she looks like Wanda Sykes, okay? But she also kind of looks like Terry Crews a little bit, I think. Just me? Just me.
Rabbi Epstein was a particularly pious and tenacious man, and he couldn't stand seeing members of his congregation or Jews anywhere hanging out in bars and taverns and places of ill repute. And so one evening, Rabbi Epstein goes into a bar that he knows is frequented by many Jews in the community. And there in the bar, he sees David at the bar. And he goes up to David and he says, David, what are you doing here? What are you doing in this bar? Don't you want to go to heaven? David says, well, yes, Rabbi, of course I do. Then David, go stand over there against the wall. And then Rabbi Epstein sees another member of his congregation also in this bar. And he goes up to that man and he says, what are you doing here? Why aren't you in shul? What are you doing in this bar? Don't you want to go to heaven? And the man says, well, yes, of course, Rabbi. Of course I do. Then go stand over there against the wall, the rabbi says. And then he sees Chaim Yankel from synagogue. And he goes up to Chaim Yankel and says, Chaim Yankel, you of all people, what are you doing in this bar? Don't you want to go to heaven? And Chaim Yankel thinks about it and says, well, no, Rabbi, I don't. And Rabbi Epstein says, what do you mean you don't want to go to heaven? What do you mean when you die, you don't want to go to heaven? Oh, Chaim Yankel says, when I die, yes, of course, when I die, I want to go to heaven. I thought you were getting a group together to go right now.
When I was a little girl, I learned a Yiddish joke, and it went like this. What comes between fear and sex? And the answer is finuf. Well, the funny part is that I decided to tell this to my bubby. She spoke Yiddish, of course, and she was a little bit of a wild child. So I said to her, Bubby, what comes between fear and sex? She thought. She giggled a little bit, and she said, I don't want to tell you. And she never did. Chag Sameach.
All right. I don't know why it came up from there. All right, let's keep things going. Up next is a Canadian comic who's performed at the Jewish Comedy Festival, Absolute Comedy in Toronto, Kingston, Ottawa, as well as comedy clubs all over Ontario. Since 2020, she's performed internationally on Zoom in the UK and in the US, including the Lady Laughs Comedy Festival. And I know you're going to get a lot of laughs from this lady. Please say hi to Janice Israeloff.
Maybe you left them in the dryer. I don't know. I don't wear your jeans, okay? They don't fit me, okay? No, I'm not opening the car. I'm not opening the car. Okay, bye. I'm not opening it. Bye. Sorry about that. Quarantining with your adult children for 10 months. This is the only place that I get any peace of mind. You know what I'm saying? Hi, I'm Janice Israeloff. I'm coming to you, first I want to say thanks for coming to the Harvey Atkins virtual comedy competition. I'm coming to you from my car in my garage, my sanctuary. This is my version of comedians in cars, except I call it a comedian in a car with no one watching, which is basically my comedy career. So I want to get to some of the questions that David sent in the email. How did I get started in comedy? Well, 4 years ago, I took a comedy class at Comedy Bar after a lifetime of being an actor and not getting cast. Yeah, my life was a joke. So I took a comedy class and I liked it, and then I just kept doing it. What else? My influences in comedy, I would say, would be my parents. They were funny people. Joe and Libby Israeloff, God rest their soul, and my Bubba Rivka. I love my Bubba Rivka dearly. She was hilarious. As she always used to say, as long as you have your health and you're happy, that's all that matters. And you know what? She could not be more right. She could not be more right. What else? My faith and how am I coping through COVID-19? Oy, oy, oy. Well, the holidays were all on Zoom this year. Did you all go to a Zoom Seder? Did you all do that? I feel like the 4 questions were a little different this year, you know, on Zoom. Like, how is this lockdown different than all the other lockdowns? You know, questions were a little different. I guess you're going to have to ask the simple son, Doug Ford. I went to a Zoom bris, right? It was quiet, you know. I muted the baby. And the Moyle, he muted the Yentas, so that was good. I guess that's it. I guess that's it for me. I'm so glad to be here. I'm so excited. Thank you for coming, and I'll see you all at the meet and greet, okay? See you later.
And another ad that I saw on my Facebook feed was for beauty products, right? Like how to stop the effects of aging. You know how you stop the effects of aging? Suicide. Because, there's not going to be any Botox on this bitch, because I think, the less plastic surgery I get, the more funnier I'll look, and, it works in my comedy career. But the thing that I did to feel younger about myself is I got a job in a nursing home. Yeah, I did. I'm a recreation therapist by day. I work with Alzheimer's patients one-on-one. And I gotta tell you, I'm always the hottest and youngest at bingo. There's a misconception about the work that I do. Like, when people find out what I do, they think I'm like kind and caring. This is false.
It's in my best interest to keep people alive as long as possible because I charge by the hour. In fact, I hope they never find a cure for Alzheimer's disease or I'll be out of business. Too dark for Kingston. Not an extra crowd. No, okay. What's that?
You're good over here.
Oh, I'm good over here. Okay, thank you. Thank you. I like that kind of heckling. Good over here. Just tell me your jokes over here. Yes, I do work in a nursing home. I do. And old people say the craziest things. My patients say the craziest things. Another guy said to me, one of my patients asked me the other day if I was pregnant. You know? But I didn't get mad because he thinks I look young enough to have a baby. Then he asked me for a kiss. So I'll have to start charging more for that service. Sometimes I feel like an emotional prostitute because it's my job to make sure everyone has a happy ending. No, is that a groan or is that a cringe, Mom? If my kid was here, she'd be like, oh fuck, mother, just get up here. That's how I clear the living room. I just put on one of my sets and like, especially when I'm talking about having sex with their dad. Your parents are doing it, kids. They're doing it. I'm married. I've been married for a long time. This is the point at which you go, 30 years. Been married for 30 years. See? And I love being married. I do. It's great. But sex after 30 years has yeah, you're laughing. Sex, yeah. We're talking about dry February. Well, I don't know. I'm going to try for more than February, but I'll try. Is that gross? Are you gross? He's looking at me like, oh god. Sex has a more spiritual feel to it now. You know, when things are good, it's like walking on water, but you know, it's spiritual. It praise Jesus, right? But as far as my husband's concerned, there will be no second coming. You will not rise again.
You know, I really trust the teachers in my Hebrew school. I know that they're teaching the kids great stuff. So imagine my surprise the other day when I logged in to come into Hebrew school on Zoom and I hear the grade 7 bar bat mitzvah teacher say to the kids, now kids, can someone explain why it's really important to be very quiet during the rabbi's sermon? And I see a whole bunch of hands raised and the kid in the front says, that's so obvious. It's so that we don't wake up all the people who are sleeping. But happy Purim.
All right. As I said, we've all been looking at ourselves in these Zoom meetings far too long. It's honestly, it's just weird for me. Like I can see you and you can see me, but I can also see me. Ugh. All right, moving right along. He is a regular at the Corner Comedy Club, also a podcast host, go figure, and was voted as one of Montreal's top 10 comedians 2 years in a row. And now you're going to see why. Say hi to Jeremy Dobsky.
Hi, my name's Jeremy Dobsky. As I assume I've already been introduced, and if I haven't, then hello, my name is Jeremy Dobsky. Barren walls, barren head, apologize for both. Although you guys think I'm bald, I just know that my baby hair fell out and I'm waiting for my adult hair to grow in. That happens. I put it under my pillow and I'm waiting for the alopecia fairy to bring me my 2 quarters. Still hasn't happened. Waking up is very difficult. I have a lot of hair in my eyes. Anyway, yeah, I've been a comedian for almost 10 years now, and I've always wanted to be a stand-up comedian. I would say since I can remember. I know it's my mom, as much as I'm leaning into that stereotype, I suppose. My mom was the one who showed me stand-up comedy for the first time, I'm pretty sure. She showed me like Rodney Dangerfield or something, and it's just always been something I was like, oh, you can just be silly for the rest of your life. Well, that's what I want. Big part of my inspiration, Eshet Chayil. Not my mom isn't my inspiration. My mom just showed me stand-up comedy. I want to make that very clear that she doesn't get that title because I'll never hear the end of it. I don't know. Judaism has always been something that I've kind of really, it's, I grew up in the Jewish community and everything, but I left it, but you don't really leave it. And honestly, being Jewish is a very important part of my act, who I am. Unfortunately, I didn't have any video of my fully Jewish set because I don't do it a lot. And also, it might be better this way that I didn't touch so many nerves when we can't have a conversation after the show, basically. However, I do love being Jewish. I love Jewish history and traditions. I'm pretty well versed in a lot of it, but I do it all on my own. It's all my own kind of shtick, as you will. And then as for life in COVID, just losing stand-up comedy has been the hardest thing. I read and I wait, and I come from, my grandparents were survivors, and who am I to complain? But I definitely lost the one thing that I care about the most. So thank you for this opportunity to be able to sort of do that for you.
I had a homeless guy spit at me recently. I was at a bus stop. He spat at me for being a Jew. And I was just impressed that he guessed, honestly. With these blue eyes, this pale skin, and my penis hidden from sight, I was like, wow, man, you're really good at this. You ever consider joining a carnival? You could be like the let me guess your race guy. You wouldn't have to be homeless. You'd have a job, a whole caravan to sleep in. I think he just saw a beard and glasses and a black hat and was like, there's one. I was like, good guess, wrong hat though. But I don't know, man, being in Canada is pretty amazing, honestly. The way that because okay, so they got the two white guys out of the way for the rest of the show. A lot of ethnic comics on the show tonight, and I do identify as an ethnic comic. Sure, my ethnicity might be Jewish. However, you guys should see my credit rating. I am a black comic. But in Canada, we're so accepting, so accepting. I think it's amazing. First of all, I love the fact that we get to live in a country where I can go to the doctor for free anytime I feel lonely and just want someone to see me naked. I think that's incredible. You know what? Think about this, man. We're in a dark room right now, not hiding from a militia. Wow. What a place we live in. The whole world is on fire right now, and our biggest concern today was whether we wear 2 pairs of socks instead of 1. That's an amazing thing. What's the weather like is a good question to ask rather than where are the bombs falling, I think it's amazing. We're accepting of everybody here. So accepting. Honestly, everywhere else in the world, they're like, what should we do about all these gay people? What do we do with all these gay people? And in Canada, we're like, I don't know, gay people should get the biggest naked parade in the whole world. We only have a few summer months, and let's let them be warm, Let's get to dancing and building those floats, everybody. Our shirtless prime minister will be with you in a moment. Everywhere else in the world, they're like, we have a big problem. We got all these Muslims. Big problem, all these Muslims. And in Canada, we're like, Muslims? That's no problem. We cover our heads and faces most of the year. Come on in, everybody. Doors are wide open. Here's a free hockey helmet. It's the same thing. Our brown-faced prime minister will be with you in a moment. Dude, I got arrested for selling weed when I was 16. You know what my punishment was? I had to write an apology letter to Canada. Like, hey, it's me. Sorry. Yeah, but we say Canadians are polite, right? We all hear that, we're really polite, Honestly, I don't think we're that polite. I think that we're cooperative. You spend enough time indoors with people, you learn to say sorry. But it's not sorry I did that, it's sorry please don't eat me during a heavy snowfall.
Thank you very much. Hope you're having a nice time. Don't forget you'll have a chance to vote for who you think is the winner at the end of the competition. Besides stand-up comedy tonight's also a chance for us to honor the memory of Harvey Atkin. That's why it's called the Harvey Atkin Comedy Festival, obviously. But here's a look at some of the fine work from this great artist and menschy guy.
What do you want to drink? Nothing?
Oh, I wouldn't mind a little something.
Good. You sitting down? We have nothing. Nothing. Great Zoldabian drink. Also, good cleaning agent. Mama.
On the entertainment scene, over the next year, Beverly Goodman-Rowe is going to be focusing in on some of our great Canadian talent. Tonight, she takes us behind the camera to see one of the greatest, a man we see so often on the screen but know so little about.
We're going to be rich, we're going to be rich, we're going to have silver and gold.
What's the real story? Because I want you to notice me.
They got you with the old hit and run, the old razzle-dazzle, the old now you see it, now you don't.
Ah, scope tastes terrific. My breath feels fresh and clean.
Meatballs is about summer camp and what it's like at summer camp and what happens.
I've been looking for this. You threw it out. I was airing it. He threw it out. Then it was gone. Suddenly. He threw it out. I did not. I was airing.
Okay. How about if he's English? Yeah, well, what say you if I came this afternoon and talked to you about it? Does that sound better? Say the secret word and you win $100, something to find around the house.
A man is not normal.
You wanted to know what life is like in this household. Danny lost a tooth yesterday. Put his tooth under the pillow, wanting the tooth fairy to come, of course. In normal households, the kid gets money. Danny, what did you get?
Due to the high interest rate at the bank, I am unable to contribute to your tooth fund. Please accept this IOU for $1. Signed, Tooth Fairy.
So he says, lady, if I had turkey, you'd have chicken.
Yeah. Now that's funny.
Yeah, I can tell you a joke, anything you want, any subject you name it, I can tell you.
Could you make a joke about dying?
Yeah. Death?
Hear it. Yeah.
Dying and death?
Yeah.
Not a problem. So this lady calls up the newspaper. She wants to put an obituary in for her husband. She calls up, she says, I want to make an obituary for my husband. My husband died. She says, what do you want to say? She says, lady, I want to say, she says, Sam Cohen died. He says, you want to say anything else? He says, no, that's it, he died. She says, well, you want to flesh it out a little bit, so to speak, you know, it's say a little bit more? She says, what to say? He died. He said, it's the same price. You can go up to 6 words with the same thing. She says, not extra money? She says, no. She says, all right, so say, Sam Cohen died, Buick for sale.
Harvey Acton, a great Canadian character actor making a great contribution to our Canadian radio, television, and film.
All right, welcome back. Our next performer is somebody that I saw when she first started out a few years ago, and you kind of knew right away, like this, she's got something. It's very funny, very dry, very witty, very smart. Since then, she's appeared all over Canada and the U.S., comedy festivals like JFL 42 and the Waterloo Comedy Festival. Wow. She can currently be heard on Sirius XM, but you get to see her tonight, Laura Lebo.
Hey strangers, welcome to my room. My name is Laura Lebo, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. First of all, I'm going to tell you what pushed me into comedy. And you know, that's a tough question because so many things pushed me into comedy, but I would say the main thing that really pushed me into comedy was my mom. She, funnily enough, sort of literally pushed me into comedy because one of the first things I remember that was really funny was when she was teaching me to swim. She pushed me into the pool and she sort of yelled, you know, never, never, bitch. And I don't remember it. My therapist says I repressed the memory, but apparently it was really funny. COVID's tough. We all know this. I can't do my job. I don't get to perform stand-up. So I have to find ways to pass the time. One thing I do every single day to make sure that I feel good, I never miss a day, is I watch hot dads jog on my street through my big window. And I watch them go. My favorites are probably Gary and David. And it turns out they're not jogging. They're running away from their families, they told me. So that's fun. A bit about me being a Jew. I'm a Jew. I have an interesting connection to Judaism. My mom's family was quite Jewish. They were practicing Jews. My dad, more of a cultural Jew. So I was always sort of behind my peers in terms of cultural knowledge or Jewish traditions. And I learned the hard way, Jewish funerals are not like Jewish weddings, after I tried to stomp the casket at my Zadie's funeral. Sorry, Zadie. Anyway, listen, enjoy this clip of me from 2 years ago where you can marvel at how much COVID has aged me.
When I was a teen, if you wanted to send a dick pic, you had to upload your dick to LimeWire, okay? Name the file Ironic by Alanis Morissette. And just hope that a sad girl downloaded it. It's different times now. You know, people will say to me, you know, Laura, you're so worldly, have you tried crack? And I'll sort of say no, but thank you so much for asking. I had to quit drugs because I love them, and when you love them, you must quit them. And so I never tried crack, and I was feeling recently like I just kind of wish I knew what it was like to do crack, you know? Just out of curiosity. But then I realized, like, I can figure out what it's like to be high on crack just based on observing people, you know? Like, I think based on what I see in TVs and movies, I think, you know, crack makes you like very up and euphoric and excited. And then, you know, based on what I see on the streets of Toronto, I think that crack makes you like a very confident jaywalker. And that perhaps, that is the main side effect. I would like to tell you guys an Amber Alert joke and then I'll leave, okay? You always gotta leave after the Amber Alert joke. I'll just tell you this, like, I love the Amber Alert, okay? It's one of my fave alerts. Top 5 for sure. But I do feel that Amber is the wrong name for the alert. To me, I don't think that Amber really speaks to the gravitas of an alert about kidnapped children. Amber Alert sounds like what your obnoxious college friend says when she first gets to a party. Right? She's like, Amber Alert. Now it's a party. Like, nobody's kidnapping Amber, you know? She's like, can I get in your van? I'm good. The kidnapper gets home, he opens his van, Amber's just in there. She's like, can you call my phone? All right, I've been Laura Lebo. Thank you so much.
Hi, friends. My name is Rabbi Daniel Michaelberg. It is great to be with you today, all the way from Ottawa. Now, typically, it's good rabbinic advice to leave politics off the bima. But today is Purim, so here are some of my favorites. Well, what about that man, Donald Trump, who used to be in the White House? What is he telling his supporters? Well, that would be that orange is the new black. And Trump, he has more time on his hands than he did in the past, and maybe he's going to more birthday parties, and he has a famous question that he's asking all these young children. Let me see your birth certificate. Okay, now it's only fair that I have equal opportunity jokes. Here's one about the new president, Joe Biden. You see, Joe Biden, he knew in his heart that it was important for him to run in this election because only he would be able to beat Ronald Reagan. Oh, not so right. Take that back, 1 minute. I actually meant to say that Joe Biden knew in his heart that it was important to him to run for this election because only he would have been able to beat Joe Biden. Okay, one more just for fun, a little bit closer to home. Justin Trudeau, he loves to apologize. How long will he have to apologize for? Well, that would be until he's black in the face. All right, just a little fun and our political friends. It was great being with you this evening.
Okay. Moving things right along. Our next performer, I've known, I guess, for as long as he's been doing stand-up comedy, which is a very, very long time, like 40 years. He's worked all over the country, all over the continent, all over the world. He's been in every festival, on every television show. He's had his own comedy special. Most recently, I'll tell you, he's been on this show, The Debaters, on CBC. I've had the chance to watch him work. I've done that show, and I'll tell you right now, like a lot of other comics, he's the guy you do not want to go up against in a comedy debate. And I am so happy for you to see him here tonight. Please welcome the very talented Simon Rakoff.
Hi, I'm Simon Rakoff. It's a pleasure to be here at your Temple Sinai Harvey Atkin event. And when I think about my Jewishness, it's funny. I was never very religious, but I've always been very culturally and historically Jewish. I went to Bialik Hebrew Day School as a child, and then summers at Camp Gesher. So I've always been very involved in the Jewish community and with my Jewishness. And of course, I think that that has a lot to do with being funny. Because if you think about comedy as a craft or a perspective, more accurately, it comes from distance, from a separation, seeing things from a slightly different perspective. And Jews, of course, having been dispersed through our history, have always lived in but not of the cultures of the world. It means that we see and experience the culture that we're in, but we also have a slight outsider's perspective that gives us a unique point of view, and has always meant that Jews have always been funny, because there's no way to look at things as a stranger without noticing the quirks and eccentricities of things. And that's why I think Jews have always been funny, and I certainly have always felt like a comedian ever since I was a young kid at Hebrew school and at summer camp, talking about Bible stories and Zionist history. And I think that this has largely informed my point of view, even when I'm not talking about Jewish subjects. Although tonight you're going to be watching a video of me from the Winnipeg Comedy Festival, a show called Our Roots Are Showing, where I was the Jewish comedian on an all-ethnic show. I hope you enjoy it, and thanks for having me.
I'm obviously Jewish. That's why I wear the shirt. Actually, a little tribute to being Jewish, because all the superheroes are Jewish. I figure that's a nice way of showing that I'm Jewish. You didn't know that? That all the superheroes are Jewish? Look at the names. Spider-Man, Superman, Batman. Everybody knows that. Had something interesting happen to me. I was somebody's first Jew. I hadn't been somebody's first Jew. Guy from a small town, obviously never met anybody Jewish. Met me, found out I was Jewish. He was amazed. Really? Jewish? Really? You're a Jew? Like in the Bible, but now? What's that, really? It's funny when people ask if I'm Jewish. It tells me a lot about them. Some people aren't crazy about Jews. I got this the other day. Are you Jewish? No offense. None taken. Thanks. My favorite is still, are you of the Jewish persuasion? Because I get to answer yes. I was 8 days old when they persuaded me. And very persuasive it was. That's the law. 8 days, they circumcise the Jewish boys, because by 9 days, you've got the strength to fight them off. They get you early. And it's an amazing thing to watch the circumcision ritual. It's quite incredible, because it's thousands of years old, but it's scientific. They take a little piece of cloth or cotton, they dip it in wine, they put it in the baby's mouth, he sucks on it, gets a little drunk, and then they cut. Which is why you don't meet a lot of Jews who are really heavy drinkers. Oh, yeah. an amazingly effective deterrent, really. Long-lasting, years later. Would you like some wine? No. Thank you. It's a lovely thought, but no. I am not a religious person at all. You may have guessed that. I'm what's called an agnostic. That means I don't believe in God, but I do blame him for all my problems. But you don't have to be religious to be Jewish. It's really not important to it. Even the word implies that. Jewish. Jewish. It's pretty tentative. Is that dress new? Newish. You a Jew? Jewish. So, Jewish holidays, of course, lots of Jewish holidays. One coming up, it doesn't matter when this airs, that actually there's one coming up. Yeah.
Hello there. I was asked to tell a joke for Purim, and I know a lot of good ones, but I'm going to tell you my favorite joke, which is a joke about Yom Kippur. Now, why should I tell you a joke about Yom Kippur on Purim? I think the reason is that Yom Kippur can often be just as funny as Purim if we are thinking about it too hard. So with that, the joke begins. One Yom Kippur, there was a man named Mordechai, Morty to all his friends, who was getting so thirsty from fasting that he couldn't take it anymore. And in the break between Mincha, the afternoon service, and Ne'ilah, the concluding service in the evening, he went to approach the rabbi and he said, Rabbi, I'm dying of thirst. You have to let me have a sip of water. The rabbi said, Morty, I'm surprised at you. We're almost done. And you know what you're asking. It's the holiest day of the year. And Morty said, No, but Rabbi, you don't understand. I'm so thirsty. I'm dying. Please let me have some water. So the rabbi waves his finger and calls over the shamish, who is a useful person around the shul, as some of you know. And he says to the shamish, get Morty here a thimbleful of water. And Morty grabs the rabbi's arm and says, No, Rabbi, you don't understand. I need a real glass of water or I'm going to die. The rabbi, clearly disturbed, nods his head, and the shamish goes and he gets a cup of water and he brings it back to Morty, who swallows it down in one gulp. And then Morty says, Thanks, Rabbi. I promise I'll never eat pickled herring on Yom Kippur again.
Okay, up next is our last competitor. He is not only a comedian, but he's also a producer. He's performed at the Montreal Zoo Fest, Windsor Comedy Fest. He's also the producer of the Jewish Comedy Festival and the Cannabis Comedy Festival, which I always thought he should combine. I mean, let's be serious. What Jewish holiday wouldn't be improved by a little cannabis? Please say hi to Ronan Geisler.
Shalom Haverim! Hello, my friends. It's me, it's Ronan, and I'm going to do a video. I don't know, what are we doing here? I need to do a video about myself and about, I guess, lockdown and COVID and all that stuff. So I'm just going to give you guys some tips for lockdown. Are you ready? Let's go. Lockdown tip. I called my insurance company because I get to work from home. They gave me $1 off per month. That's how much I save off my premiums. I called my life insurance company. I told them I'm working from home and I live with my girlfriend. My premiums went up by $150 a month. That's right. Lockdown tip. If you have a beautiful, rich mother-in-law that you love, go visit her as much as possible. Lockdown tip. Don't forget, Israelis don't know how to social distance. That's right, Israelis don't know. Lockdown tip. Chocolate gelt and Bitcoin is not the same. Lockdown tip. Don't forget Zadie. Zadie always has toilet paper and Lysol wipes. Endless supply. They've been getting ready for war for centuries, okay? Go visit Zadie. Lockdown tip. Okay, don't forget a yarmulke is not a mask, and a mask is not a yarmulke, all right? It's different, two different things, okay? Lockdown tip. All right, those were the lockdown tips. I hope you learned a lot. I hope you practiced some of them. I want everyone to stay safe, stay healthy. Till next time. Bye-bye.
I was in a relationship for a year. I had a girl live with me. She was a beautiful girl, smart girl, had her master's, was beautiful, cooked, cleaned. My parents weren't happy. Of course, she wasn't Jewish. Very sad. She was from Brazil. And my parents, they were so upset that I was going to marry her that they would always go to synagogue and they would pray to God that something would happen, that this relationship would end. What ended up happening was she went to Brazil to go visit her family, and when she got back, immigration actually deported her. It's not funny, guys. It's not funny. The worst part is only in Canada you can get deported by an immigration agent named Mohammed. The question is, who were my parents praying to? I use this dating site, maybe you heard this site, for Jews find other Jews. It's called Craigslist. I don't post under personals, I post under jobs. My posting says, Jewish, non-for-profit, looking for an assistant. Yeah, this way you know I'm a Jew and I make no money. Yeah, within the first hour, I got over 100 matches, or as I like to call resumes. I scheduled 10 mini dates at the local Aroma. I have 10 girls waiting in line, and then I do like these mini dates with each girl. And at the end, I'd give my 3 favorite girls a bagel. I'd give one girl poppy seed bagel, one girl sesame bagel, one girl an everything bagel. I basically created my own version of the Jewish Bachelor. Except at the end, I asked for receipts. I use this other dating app. It's called JSwipe. You guys know JSwipe? So JSwipe is similar to Tinder. There's a big difference though. Tinder is like a big sea filled with lots of beautiful fish. And JSwipe is kind of like the Dead Sea. Nothing there. You dive in, you pull back up, your eyes burn for days. The only fish in the JSwipe seats get filter fish. All right, guys, it's my time. Let's bring up your host.
Yeah. All right. Before we get to voting and wrap this thing up, last year, this next performer was the winner of the first Harvey Atkins comedy competition. He's also appeared on CBC's LOL and was recently nominated by his peers for an award as Toronto's breakout comedian. Put your hands together, or whatever it is you're applauding with, for Jacob Belshon.
Hi, my name's Jacob Belshon, and I'm the winner of the first ever Harvey Atkins comedy competition. What a time that was back in last year when we could see each other and hug our loved ones and such times. What a wild journey it's been since then. I can tell you this, I took all the money Harvey Atkins comedy competition gave me and I used it to buy the vaccine. And so for the last 8 months, I've been clubbing it up and I've been traveling and kissing strangers. So thank you to the Harvey Atkins comedy competition for letting me do that. But in all honesty, and sorry, whenever I move, my camera lets a light shine in your eyes. Thank you for this contest. It's an amazing thing. Anything that supports comedians is truly amazing. We are not very supported in this country. And it honestly means a lot to us, especially during this time where our jobs are so undetermined and unknown. So thank you very much for doing this. I don't know if you've already watched my video or about to watch my video, but I hope you did or are about to enjoy it. God bless. Bye.
Fuck yeah, how's it going? That was so little energy. Nice. Fuck yeah, Thursday, 8 o'clock, that kind of energy. Let's do it. You smoke weed? All right, that's why your energy's low. I like that. I found weed young. I found weed in the 3rd grade. I found my dad's weed. So I called my dad at work to ask him what it was. And he lied to me. And he told me what I found was just a product from work. Product from work, I believed that lie. Till a few months went past. One day, a police officer came to my school to teach the whole class what drugs are. And the first thing he did was he took out a big bag of weed. He said, "Can anyone in this class tell me what this stuff is called?" And I was the only hand up. And he called on me. And I was like, "Officer, not too sure what that stuff is called, but I know my dad sells it for a living." Yeah, I narked out my dad. Thank you for clapping at the last time I ever spoke to my father. Dude, I work at a Loblaws right now. I hand out free samples at a Loblaws. I recently had to hand out apples, and they made me start every conversation by saying, "Excuse me, have you tried apples?" Who the fuck hasn't tried apples? I asked that to one lady. I was like, "Excuse me, miss, have you tried apples?" And she was like, "Excuse me, young man, but are you okay?" And I was like, "No, man, not apples. This is a low point in my life. This is a tree's job." Dude, I smoked so much weed in high school, I got a job at the bulk barn. That's what I did. Oh. Big bulk barn crowd? Holy shit, I love the bulk barn. If you've never been to a bulk barn, it's a store. We take all our food and we dump it into garbage bins. Then you forage for juke tubes like a diabetic raccoon. It's a weird store. No packaging on anything at the bulk barn. So every customer walks in, they shoplift with their face, and then they leave the bulk barn. No one buys anything at the bulk barn ever. All of you steal from bulk barn. And here's how stupid we are at the bulk barn. We weigh the food at the bulk barn. We weigh the food. We should not weigh the food at the bulk barn. We should weigh you when you walk in. We should weigh you again when you leave, and whatever weight you put on, we should charge you in sour keys. This is a barn, you're an animal. We don't give a shit. You know, this lady come in my bulk barn every day at lunch. Ate all our candy. My boss is like, "Hey, if you see that lady, can you yell at her?" It's like, "No, I'm not yelling at the only person I respect in this store." I used to work at a pizza. That's the worst job I've ever had in my life is pizza. If you've never been to a pizza, it's a public bathroom that serves pizza in a waiting area. Yeah, you guys can start clapping now. Dude. I think pizza is so bad that pizza is a double negative. Like, is that pizza? They're just like, put it in your drunk face. Shut the fuck up. If you eat pizza sober, you need a drinking problem. That's how bad pizza is. I'll tell you this story before I go. You guys have been sweet. I used to go to school with this girl, and her name was Nagar. That was her name. Thank you for repeating it. You guys could just, this is more of a call and repeat show. You were supposed to repeat that. I'm pretty annoyed with all of you. Her name was Nagar. That's not a good name to give your kid, Nagar. I don't think you should give your kid any name where if they run away in public, you can't get them back. Like if Nagar runs away, her parents are like, Good luck out there, kid. We stopped taking morning attendance in my high school. That's how bad things got with Nagar. We stopped, because what happened was Nagar was like the sweetest, shyest girl at the school. She never said a word, never spoke. One day we had a substitute teacher. And the substitute teacher came into class, and she picked up the attendance, and she got like halfway through, and she reached Nagar's name, and she skipped it. Yeah, she went right to the next name on the list. And the next name on the list was Nicole. And Nicole wasn't expecting this at all. So there was just a long pause of silence in the room. And from the back of the class came this voice that none of us had ever heard before. And it just went, say it. Have a good night, guys. Thanks so much. I've been Jacob Boston.
And that wraps up all the comics. We hope you've enjoyed everyone's performances. Now it's time for you to vote. Now remember, you only get one vote, so use it wisely. I know it's going to be tough. Before we start voting, here's all the performers that you saw tonight.
Heather Gold, Benji Rothman, Janice Israeloff, Jeremy Dobsky, Laura Lebo, Simon Rakoff, and Ronan Geisler.
Well, there you go. Man, I hope you guys had a great time. It was so fun watching the comics. I love the format. I hope you did too. On behalf of, why don't we give all the comedians a warm round of something? Just, applaud, keyboards, yeses, exclamation marks. But here's a moment that we've been leading up to on this second annual Harvey Atkin Purim comedy competition. All right, here we go. Pay attention now. In third place, Janice Israeloff. Janice. All right. In second place, with a score of 117. I have no idea what that means. In second place. By the way, if our winner cannot complete their reign, our second runner-up will then take over. Anyway, in second place, Laura Lebo. Woo! Yes. And now, this person is about to take over for Jacob as the winner of the second annual Harvey Atkin Comedy Competition / Purim Festival. And with the winner, here's Celia.
And the winner is Simon Rakoff.
I have no idea what's going on.
Well, there you go. Congratulations. Let me turn up my the volume on this. Isn't that strange? The two oldest guys. Simon, congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Thank you to everyone who voted and watched, and my competitors. It's much appreciated. It was fun being part of this.
And, you know, I just want to, just before we say goodnight, you know, I know from talking to other stand-ups and some of the people that were on the show tonight, just talk a little bit about getting to perform even in this weird kind of format. It was great seeing some of your old video, but hearing you talk from the heart. Talk a little bit about how odd it's been for performers like you and the rest of our comedians tonight.
Well, it's very strange. You see, what people don't understand is, unlike most performance, comedy only really exists with an audience. You can play music and it's still music alone. Right. You can dance alone. But comedy isn't comedy if nobody's laughing. So to do these kinds of shows, although it's great that you enjoyed it, and I know people are out there listening, I don't get the feedback that makes it work for me. You know, it's like the way a car battery is constantly recharged by the engine doing this.
Well, I'll tell you what, it was still nice to see you perform. It was great to see everyone else do what we can during these very bizarre times. But just again, personally, congratulations. I've known you a long time, as I mentioned in your introduction.
Always a treat to see you, Howard.
All right, my friend.
And because it's Purim, I assume that the others have to lead me around town shouting about what a great man I am.
I'm sure, if you say so. I don't know. I'm from Moose
You don't know the story.
We didn't have Purim. Simon Rakoff, everybody.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. And you know what, everyone? That wraps up our night. Thank you so much to everyone who participated, who helped out. I know a lot of people put a lot of time into this. And once again, in association, the Temple Sinai, in association with the Harold Green Jewish Theater Company, thanks to everyone. Hope you enjoyed yourself, and we'll hope to see you next year for the third annual Harvey Atkin Purim Comedy Competition. Good night, everyone.